Good morning, Bucknutters. It is Monday, July 6th, 2015. I am Dan Rubin. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5 and Change. I know you were expecting to hear the dulcet tones of Dave Biddle. Fear not. Dave will be back tomorrow. But today, a treat for all. A third straight Monday with Duane Long. Duane, how are you this fine Monday?
Oh, enjoying a beautiful Monday morning. Had a great weekend. What a 4th of July weekend. The weather was great around here after all that rain we had, and then just have a weekend where it was just beautiful temperature-wise, sun out. It was spectacular.
It was nice, even in the Gem City. We hope everyone had a happy, healthy, and safe holiday weekend. Since it's Duane's last appearance with me, for that matter, here on the BM5 this week, we're going to go through a potpourri of topics, of which Duane is versed on all of them. The first, obviously, anytime there's a commitment, we want Duane's opinion, but anytime there's an offensive line commitment, we get Duane on the hotline. Jake Moretti, class of 2017, committed over the weekend on July 4th, actually. Another long line of guys doing stuff on holidays to interrupt us. But seriously, 6'5", 285 pounds from Arvada, north of Denver. Very highly rated kid, number 9 tackle in the country. Had offers from Notre Dame, Michigan, Southern Cal, Wisconsin, UCLA, and Oregon, basically everybody in the West. This gives Ohio State 2 tackles in the class of 2017, Josh Myers and Jake Moretti. Very big pickup for the Buckeyes.
Absolutely huge pickup. I mean, when you get a kid this good at this age, you know, it's important to note when offers come in. And when you see a kid that, especially with a lineman, Dan, linemen come along so much slower than, the big kids. They need time to grow. And you look at this kid, and outside of Josh Myers, I need to see a kid this size move as well as Moretti. The one thing that they have in common is that they both can run. They're going to get out and move. They're going to make this. We've wanted to see the hurry up, the no huddle. With linemen like this, guys that are going to come in great shape, who can really run, athletic guys, it's going to make it that much easier to implement that no huddle offense and just run up and down the field like it's a basketball court. Guy dominates the line of scrimmage. That, to me, is the thing that I want to see with an Ohio State lineman in high school. He is obviously the big dog on a football field. And Moretti, we saw that with Myers, obviously, with him being number 1 in the class, but you also see that with Moretti. He's a guy that just absolutely, the guy in front of him, he's going to have a bad night. And that's the thing I love about Moretti. And he comes off the ball, great first step off the ball, doesn't get out of position early. That's something linemen have to learn. That first step is essential. We talk about defensive linemen with being explosive. First step, it's just as important with offensive linemen. If you get the edge, you're going to win, and that's what you need to do. And these are the kind of tackles. Myers and Moretti are the kind of tackles. They're going to get out there. They're going to set the edge and give that back room to get around the corner. They're going to be able to keep that defensive end from coming in the pass rush because they're as quick as he is. Absolutely spectacular pickup. I think it changes the current class. I was thinking maybe take another tackle, even though there are some other places we'd like to fill in, since this staff has done a magnificent job of recruiting both depth and talent on the offensive line. Now, with this kid having these bookend tackles coming in already, committed for next year, they can go ahead and take a kid in another position. Maybe even take another kicker. That would not be getting the best. You got the best punter in the country coming in. I know that the Buckeyes are looking at a kicker. So, just allows more flexibility, gives the coaching staff more room to do other things in the current class, having these 2 secured for next year.
We'll touch on this down the line. 2017 certainly looks like they are selecting guys. I get the sense that Moretti and Myers were 1 and 2 on their board. So very, very great start. Very impressive. Second topic. Apparently this has got some traction. Braxton Miller's apparently making an announcement on Thursday. What do you expect to hear? Do you see a big change coming?
I'm confused by this. It makes you wonder if something's going on. I have never heard anything, not one word, that Braxton Miller was going to be leaving Ohio State. Never heard that. All the speculation, it was coming from outside the city of Columbus, outside the state of Ohio. If you notice, if you start reading the bylines, where these things were coming from. A lot of times it was fans. Sometimes it was people in the media who picked stuff up, but it was outside the state. This kid, born and raised in Ohio, goes to Ohio State. Here's where the information is going to come from. Nothing. And now, what do you need to make an announcement for? Maybe I think it's more likely that he's going to say he's not going to play quarterback. That's the only thing that makes any sense. I'm just honestly confused. I'm really speechless. I don't know what to say about this. There is nothing on the radar that Braxton Miller is leaving the state of Ohio to play football anywhere else. I would be absolutely floored by that. Not shocked, floored. I would absolutely have to be sitting down to take that news that he was leaving Ohio State. But moving to another position, maybe that's what it's going to be. That would be a big deal too. Let's not forget that. How big a deal it would be. Two-time Buckeye MVP of the league quarterback just says, okay, I'm not going to play quarterback. That's what I think, if anything. But why are you having an announcement if there's nothing to announce except I'm coming back to Ohio State and I'm going to play quarterback? Well, we knew that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Agreed. I think it's I'm on point with you there. We haven't heard anything, like you said, from anywhere that he's transferring. And at this point, even if the Ohio State people managed to keep it under wraps, we would have heard it from the other side, given our expansive sources within the network. So it's likely that Brax is going to say he's staying, and then the soap opera will continue from there. Okay, number 3 on the list here. The opening takes place this week out in Oregon. What we want to know is Donnie Corley, the wide receiver out of Detroit, is really the only true, only the stretch, but he's a true Michigan State, Ohio State battle. He may commit. What is your opinion of Corley? Is he a must for this class, and how do you see that working out?
Well, I think that when you look at just trying to stock that position, it's getting ready to undergo a major change. We've been talking about he would be a split end, not an inside guy with Jalen Marshall and Wilson and all those guys. He would be a guy that's out there, Mike Thomas, Corey Brown. He would be, or Noah Brown, Corey Smith. Those guys
sure.
is where is where he fits into the equation. Now they're leaving. I mean, Smith's a senior. Jeff Green will walk on. He's a senior. Thomas is a junior, and the odds that he goes early, I think, are better than 50-50. The position is really going to take a beating. So Corley, in the respect that we need to add that kind of athlete to the roster, a split end, he's very important. Unless we hear something. Nate Craig Myers, to me, I don't think this is a great receiver class. It's average, above average, I might say. But outside of Nate Craig Myers, who is unique. Corley's as good as anybody out there. I would say Victor Benjamin. Those two, Nate Craig Myers and Victor Benjamin, are the two that I just love. I think they're just outstanding. Love to have either one of them. But that doesn't mean we couldn't take one of them later. Considering what we're losing, that we bring in 3 split ends, a position we really wanted to up the talent level at anyway. Yeah, we would. I don't see us turning down either Nate Craig Myers or Victor Benjamin, even with Corley in the fold.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I do think Corley is ultimately going to land at Michigan State. I've just heard too much from the people there. They're very high on whether or not he'll matriculate there. And I was also told that if he commits this week at the opening, it's more likely he goes to Michigan State. But I'll say this, we've talked a little bit about position stocking in 2017. Ohio State, based on the rankings right now, has 3 of the top, 5 or 6 running backs in the class of 2016 committed, with George Hill, Kareem Walker, and Demario McCall. 2017, they're going to have a similar haul, in my opinion, at wide receiver. when you're talking about Trevon Grimes, Jalen Harris, and possibly Donovan Peoples-Jones. That would be an absolute coup. I would suggest everyone go look those guys up. You're talking about 3 number 1 receiver types. Talked to Bill Kurlick about this over the weekend. He thinks that's possible. I really do believe they're going to have Trevon Grimes and Jalen Harris in the class coming up. So that's pretty fantastic. So we are moving on to item 4. Another player in the class of 2016 that there's a lot of talk about. Wondering where you stand on Luke Farrell. We're going to have an item on Luke in today's boarding house. I don't want to tease that too much. What's your feeling on Luke Farrell, the tight end out of Perry? I already have Jake Houseman in the mix. Is Farrell a must-get for this class, and what are your opinions on him as a player?
Farrell's absolutely, I think, a player that we need to prioritize in this class. There's just so much. We don't know what we're getting. We got Vanette as a senior. We got Ball. We don't know what's going to happen with him. We need to get the tight end position stocked. We got a kid right here in Ohio, big Buckeye fan growing up. We need to secure this guy, make sure that we have he and Hausman in the class. I think he's a better blocker than Hausman. Hausman, I give him a little edge as a receiver, even though he's an outstanding blocker. And Urban Meyer's power spread offense, we still need an inline blocking tight end, and I think Farrell's just a little bit better. We need to secure him. We don't know what we've got with Ball. We don't know what we got with the 2 guys coming in. Barry may even be a defensive end. I'd move him to defensive end, especially if we did get Farrell. But, yeah, I think he's a priority recruit in this class. Great talent. You just don't want that guy to escape, not in a position of need.
All right, last question. I'm going to go off the board here a little bit. Phil Steele has come out with his Final Four prediction for the college football playoff this year. He has Ohio State, TCU, Alabama, and USC. Do you agree with that foursome? Anyone stick out to you?
Well, I haven't seen USC. Everyone's talking about USC. I'm just not sure that USC belongs in there. Alabama, you say, well, they've got, they lost a lot of players. Yeah, but you've also got a situation where Alabama is restocking. And also, I think it's just pick somebody that you think is going to win the SEC. If you think Alabama's the team that's going to win the SEC, they're going to make it. Whoever wins the SEC is going to make the Final Four. And right now he's saying Alabama, so I don't think that's so crazy as some people think it is. Alabama's been recruiting really well. If they win the SEC, they will definitely be in. Whoever wins the SEC will be in. I need to see USC. I just don't understand. I think Florida State being left out. Talking about restocking, Jimbo Fisher is really piling on the talent right now. I think they need to be considered too. That would be the one team I would want to replace either USC or Alabama with, but I just don't see a SEC team not making it to the Final Four.
Agreed. I think the other it could be Auburn, but I cannot think of a situation to be more enjoyable than Ohio State sending Nick Saban packing for a 2nd straight year. Duane, we appreciate you joining us for a 3rd straight Monday. Everyone can rejoice in the fact that Dave Biddle will be back tomorrow. I am podcasted out. We appreciate it. Have a great Monday, Bucknuts.